हरे कृष्णा। चैतन्य चरितामृत मध्य लीला चैप्टर 17 टेक्स्ट 151। सभी सुनने वाले वैष्णव वैष्णवी गोपा गोपी भाई बहनों को और सभी भक्त वृंद प्रेमियों को सर्ववंद्या देवी दासी माता जी का दंडवत प्रणाम स्वीकार करें। ओम अज्ञान तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानांजन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितेन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती जय पताका स्वामिनीति नामिनी। नमः आचार्य पादाय नित्याय कृपा प्रदायिनी गौर कथा दामदाय नगर ग्राम तारिणी। नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ताय स्वामिनीति नामिनी। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिव सदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। वासुदेवा परा वेदा वासुदेवा परा मखा वासुदेवा परा योगा वासुदेवा परा क्रिया वासुदेवा परम ज्ञाना वासुदेवा परा तपा वासुदेवा परो धर्मो वासुदेवा परा गति। वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानंदं कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरु। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिव सदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्णे स्वधामोपगति धर्म ज्ञान नारी भी सहा कलो नष्टो दृशामेशा पुराणार्को उदिनोदिता। नष्ट प्राये स्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नष्टुति। ऋषियो ऊचु त्वया खलु पुराणानि सेतिहासानि चानगा आख्यातानि अविधीतानि धर्मशास्त्राणि ज्ञानयुता। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Text 151. Hare Krishna. The Lord stayed at Prayaga for 3 days. He delivered the holy name of Krishna and ecstatic love. Thus he delivered many people. Wherever the Lord stopped to rest on the way to Mathura, he delivered the holy name of Krishna and ecstatic love of Krishna. Thus he made the people dance. When the Lord toured South India, he delivered many people. And when he traveled in the western sector, he similarly converted many people to Vaishnavi. While the Lord was going to Mathura, he came across the river Yamuna several times, and as soon as he saw the river Yamuna, he would immediately jumped in, following unconscious in the water in the ecstasy of love of Krishna. When he approached कितने बेटा ये ऐड बहुत आ रहा आज कितने this ad is coming too much and closing my computer. Closing it, coming too much. When he approached Mathura and saw the city, he immediately fell to the ground and offered obeisances with great ecstatic love. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the city of Mathura, he took his bath at Vishrama Ghata. He then visited the birthplace of Krishna and saw the deity named Kesava Ji. He offered his respectful obeisances to this deity when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted, danced, and made loud vibrations. All the people were astonished to see his ecstatic love. One Brahmana fell at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then began to dance with him in ecstatic love. And the two of them danced in ecstatic love and embraced each other. Raising their arms, they said, "Chant the holy name of Hari and Krishna." All the people then began to chant Hari Hari, and there was a great uproar. The priest in Lord Kesava's service offered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a garland. When the people saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing and chanting, they were struck with wonder, and they all said, "Such transcendental love is never an ordinary thing." The people said, simply by seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everyone in maddened with love of Krishna. Indeed, everyone is laughing, caring, dancing, chanting, and taking the holy name of Krishna. Certainly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in all respects the incarnation of Lord Krishna. Now he has come to Mathura to deliver everyone. After this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the Brahmana aside, sitting in a solitary place. The Lord began to question him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "You are an elderly Brahmana. You are sincere and you are advanced in spiritual life. Where from have you gotten this transcendental opulence of ecstatic love of Krishna?" The Brahmana replied, "His Holiness Srila Madhavendra Puri came to the city of Madura while he was on tour. While at Madura, Sripada Madhavendra Puri visited my house and accepted me as a disciple. He even took lunch at my home. After installing the deity of Gopala, Srila Madhavendra Puri rendered him service. That very deity is still being worshipped at Govardhana hill. As soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard about Madhavendra Puri's relationship with the Brahmana, she immediately offered obeisances at his feet. Becoming careful, the Brahmana also immediately fell at the Lord's feet. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "You are on the platform of my spiritual master, and I am your disciple. Since you are my spiritual master, it is not befitting that you offer me obeisances." Uh, Upon hearing this, the Brahmana became afraid. He then said, "Why do you speak like this? You are a sannyasi. Upon seeing your ecstatic love, I can just imagine that you must have some relationship with Madhavendra Puri. This is my understanding. This kind of ecstatic love can be experienced only when one has a relationship with Madhavendra Puri. Without him, even a saint of such transcendental ecstatic love is impossible. Balabhadra Bhattacharya then explained the relationship between Madhavendra Puri and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After hearing this, the Brahmana became very pleased and began to dance. The Brahmana then took Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home and out of his own free will began to serve the Lord in various ways. He asked Balbhadra Bhattacharya to cook Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lunch. At that time, the Lord, smiling, spoke as follows. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Madhavendra Puri has already taken lunch at your place. Therefore, you may cook and give me the food. That is my instruction." Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow as. Whatever standard he sets by exemplary acts, all the words pursued. The Brahmana belonged to the Senodiya Brahmana community, and sannyasi does not accept food from such a Brahmana. Although the Brahmana belonged to the Senodiya community, Srila Madhavendra Puri had seen that he behaved like a Vaishnava and had therefore accepted him as his disciple. The food he had cooked had also been accepted by Madhavendra Puri. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu willingly requested food from the Brahmana, and the Brahmana, feeling natural humility, began to speak as follows. "It is a great fortune for me to other you food. You are the Supreme Lord, and being in the transcendental position, you are not restricted in anyone. Foolish people will blaspheme you, but I shall not tolerate the words of such mischievous people. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, the Vedas, Puranas, and great learned sages are not always in agreement with one another. Consequently, there are different religion principles. A devotee's behavior established the true purpose of religious principles. The behavior of Madhvendra Puri Goswami is the essence of such religious principles. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continue dry argument in conclusive, a great personality whose opinion does not different from other is not considered a great sage simply by studying the Vedas, which are brigated. One cannot come to the right path by which religious principles are understood. The solid truth of religious principle is hidden in the heart of an unadulterated self-realized person. Consequently, as the Shastra confirm, one should accept whatever progressive path the Mahajanas advocate. After the discussion, the Brahmana served lunch to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then all the people residing in Mathura came to see the Lord. People came by the hundreds of thousands. And people came by the hundreds of thousands, and no one could count them. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came out of the house to give audience to the people. When the people assembled, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raised his arms and said very loudly, Hari Bol. The people responded to the Lord and became ecstatic. As if mad, they began to dance and to vibrate the transcendental sound Hari. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed in the 24 ghats along the banks of the Yamuna, and the Brahmanas showed him all the places of pilgrimage. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited all the holy places on the banks of the Yamuna, including Swayambhu Visrama Ghata, Drigha Vishnu, Bhuteswara, Mahavidya, and Gokarna. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to see the various forests of Vrindavana, he took the Brahmana with him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the different forests, including Madhava Vana, Talavana, Kumudavana, and Bahulavana. Wherever he went, he took his bath with great ecstatic love. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed through Vrindavana, herds of grazing cows saw him pass, and immediately surrounding him began to move very loudly. Seeing the herds approach him, the Lord was stunned with ecstatic love. The cows then began to like his body out of great affection. Becoming pacified, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to crush the cows, and the cows, being unable to give up his company, went with him. It was only with great difficulty that the cowherdmen were able to keep the cows back. Then, when the Lord chanted all the day, he had his sweet voice and approached him. When the doves and bucks came and saw the Lord's face, they began to like his body. Not being at all afraid of him, they accompanied him along the path. Bumblebees and birds like the parrot and cuckoo all began to sing loudly on the fifth note, and the peacocks began to dance in front of the Lord. Upon seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the trees and creepers of Vrindavana became jubilant. Their twigs stood up and they began to shed tears of ecstasy in the form of honey. Hare Krishna. I stop. Talk.